You couldn't tell the difference.
I was suspicious, I'll be honest.
Too much knowledge.
Never saw you do your hair like that. So it's time to get into the matchup. Team Liquid and DRX Abyss. This is what it all comes down to. It's map number 1. It won't decide the series, but it will decide who the world looks at as your best team on this map. A map that's recently made a return, but these teams were known for being strong on it way back when it was in the pool earlier this year.
Yeah, I'm excited for what we've got coming up here. Obviously, I'm sure my counterpart did a fantastic job of going through everything that we've got coming up. The arena's quite loud, so I didn't hear anything that was said, but I'm looking forward to seeing that Waylay coming into play. A lot of space that can be taken, especially kicking things off on the attack side for DRX. And as we've already seen today, a pretty hefty attack side dominance out of both sides in our first matchup.
Well, a minute 10 on the clock and blood yet to be drawn. A slow approach from DRX, but the same level of patience shown from the defensive side, spread across the map and looking for those little pieces of information. But DRX are the ones to gain the benefit of this slow play as they manage to pick themselves up an orb towards that A side. Of course, ult's not going to be in play in this round, but it's all about the future. For now, we look towards the B site. A trap in play, 2 players standing by to take this fight. The DRX are going to be bursting through with full force. Waylay already closing the distance and finding some info.
Yeah, we'll be able to retreat back. Camo only just spotted, but it's the openers going the way of DRX, and Trex has been dealt with as well. 2 players on the rotate, but I'm looking at that flank coming out from Freeing. I wonder if he's been heard. I think he has. Padatek just pop flashing back in the other direction, but even just the time that is being bought is going to cause Liquid quite a lot of issues.
At this point, that flank all the way around is probably what's going to seal the deal if the site players don't. One of the things that Tom is #1 was saying was, Hyunmin, he's got the French buff. He's had his croissant earlier on, his creme brulee, his ratatouille, but now he's gone out of the round and the defuse already tapped. Pressure put on. Kiko lands the shot on the flashback and they need to find the diffuser quick! Frank just about getting there in time. I need to see that one in a replay because that looked like it was down to a pixel, if not none.
Yeah, I think someone somewhere is going to be quite frustrated with that. Probably the Liquid fans, because that looked so desperately close from a position of, I want to say, impossibility.
Point.
Go on, give me it. Give me it. That's actually outrageous. That's completely outrageous.
He thought he had it. I thought he had it.
0.01. He had it. In everybody's minds, he had it, but it will be 1-0 for DRX. Already a good start for DRX, and of course, going back to the beginning of the year, these are 2 teams that absolutely adored this map. I was going to say that Liquid coming in are going to be even happier with the map pool changes. Icebox going out has helped them quite a bit. But in 2025, get that guy back. It was 5-0 for Liquid, but 3-0 for DRX. And now we are back to that roster of DRX that kind of started out the year. There's been so many different changes, so many people coming in and out and all about, but this was the roster that they wanted to look towards. It is a very slow round from DRX, patient.
As it should be, really, with what they're up against. You don't want to give these pistols the chance, but I mean, the problem is executing blind into a site. It has its risks, and I think that's one thing that Hyunmin is here to help out with, the ability to use the refract, his quick teleport back in the other direction as he runs into the site, grabs them point of contact, and fades back out. We saw it in the pistol round with great value, and here it's used to scout out that, here it's used to scout out that there's nobody.
Spike planted.
We don't
hiding
do that
in those
round
corners.
here.
There's no big stacks. Yeah, Lothar's disappointed, but it will be the way to go. You don't want to give those orbs over to the rest of the squad. It is just better to go down to the map, deny DRX those orbs that they have been farming up, and a key point being flashback 2 away. So those final 3 kills, if any of them landed in his hands, that could cause big problems for Team Liquid's full buy. That's why they go diving off.
Yeah, have a little bit of fun flying through the map, but this is where things should get that little bit more interesting. Rifles across the board for Liquid, and of course, just touching base on expectations here. DRX form-wise, well, it took another team eliminating Talon for them to actually make it to the event in the first place. Liquid, on the other hand, champions of EMEA with a flawless 3-0 victory after attending every single international. These two teams should, in theory, be at different levels, but we're yet to see Liquid take the board.
Well, this is where that should change. They've got rifles, but they've not got nats. Yonin landing that shot from afar, and now Team Liquid on the retake. They're forced into a fight close range against weaker weapons. Camo and Trex do well to start, but it's still a 3v3. The spike planted. The time not quite against them yet. There's still plenty to work with. Great flash from Flashback. And that's going to put the numbers into favor for DRX. 1 HP on Flashback, a drone going through though, and that's going to stop a diffusing. Even going to get the tag on Trex, so more time taken. And as it ticks away, that spike getting closer and closer to its final moments. Kiko traded out, and now Trex in an impossible situation. He has to bait them into a fight. Patience from DRX is what will win the day for them. It's too far gone. He'll make them pay for the round, but it's DRX 3-0.
Yeah, such an important start. I mentioned about this attack side and how things have been going in the matches we've seen so far, but this was I'll be honest, a relatively weak fight. There was a Marshall in the mix, which that's ridiculous. And then the rifle went down to 1 HP immediately. It was just, I want to say the balls from Bane. He just didn't really, he was like, no, I'm not swinging until I absolutely need to. And that was enough to buy that time off the clock. Someone only just coming back into the roster.
Energy's good.
I'll be honest, it looked like he never left.
Well, that's another thing, right? You talk about Team Liquid, they look dominant regionally. Look at that grand final against GX, who ended up making waves here in the international scene already in their opening matchup yesterday. So for DRX, a team that has had these roster changes back and forth, you expect them to look a little weaker. And against the Goliath-like Team Liquid, perhaps a fall. But Pacific's number 4 is in here, and they are making waves indeed! It's an ambitious play from Nats. Back on the KZ server now, as this one's looking like a 4-0, but that's not a surprise. What will be damning is if it is a flawless round from DRX.
Well, never mind. It's not going to be. Already won at least for Patatech. It will be an upgrade onto the Outlaw, but it's only going to really be deadly to one of the players. He'll likely want to do some damage and then go down. Holding onto it's not really going to have too much value for the next round. For Camo, it's that same sort of talking point. How much damage can they do? As of right now, it's not looking very much. They are far enough out already from that spike. So they will be able to escape. Nice shot from Patatech. That's at least one. Now the rest have to cross over into the same corner that you already see Marco in. It's whether he can do anything more. And
he can remove the weapon.
Yep, he's just about, I was going to say, it was going to be close though. Like, he almost didn't hit the point of demise quick enough and then would have just had that into the next round.
Oh, Flashback gets the credit anyways. Ulti's online now for DRX. It's 4-0 up. Oh, there's no need to show that again. And again.
I blocked it.
Oh, Andy. Yeah, that knows what he did. But for DRX, coming into this round, yes, both teams are now on rifle. So for Team Liquid, that should be their chance to fight back on square footing. But ultimates in play on the other side make this a little bit of an uphill battle for the defending side, especially thinking about how much impact you can have. Popping that Yoru ult alongside Sova. The two together, Dimensional Drift and Hunter's Fury, can easily net you not just space, but a pick.
Early destruction. Both trips gone. Clearly knowing the positions that Nats likes to place them, which I'll be honest is impressive. He's normally very well known for being flexible and where that utility is put into play. But those already being removed, it leaves him at the back of the site. Now there is still the cam in the corner, ready to catch them as they walk out, and an immediate dash in, but Trex is ready for it. An advantage taken, and an advantage increased. A second onto Bane, and backside still being held. They can't have got any further forward. Flashback is going to try and peek this, but, well, that flank yet to really be spotted.
Yeah, in fact, it's not going to have any real impact here, you'd imagine. An element of surprise gone. They know there's a player, but, well, close to heaven. They don't know that he's on the left side, but the walkout is going to come elsewhere towards the spawn. Flashback already watching forward. He'll find his first fade back. Gate crash to fall back on out as the ult is popped. Two spotted. Fring knows that he probably has a target coming his way. Ready for the fight towards the vents. They're suspicious of it. Swing from Camo gets him. But the numbers kept even as the spike keeps on ticking. This is a round Team Liquid desperately need. And the defuse inside the smoke puts the pressure on. Already heard the half. Dropout punish. And this round goes to Team Liquid. At long last, they're on the board by a narrow margin.
Yeah, no, it really was. Skin of their teeth. Had to diffuse within the smoke, and a solid fight back, especially from Flashback, who has really got off to a flying start. 8-4 playing the Aura, of course, known for more of that sentinel role within the team. But clearly having that individual brilliance that can turn around on its head. As you mentioned, it is the first round onto the board for Liquid. But it's still going to put them in a very interesting spot economically. In fact, this next round may be worth 2. Both teams somewhat on the brink.
Well, Camo may look like he has a weakness, but as we get to his POV, you can see Blade Storm in hand. Looking for the fight from far away. Ult comes in a little late from Patatek, so site clearance comes in. DRX able to gather themselves at least a bit of control, you would imagine, but they stall out. Kept back by the smoke. Kept back by the ultimate of Patatek as well, as they can't use their abilities to break through to this site. It's going to cause delay. Camel's down to 20 already. That's a phenomenal spam. And Hyunmin still with a full utility belt. They didn't get caught out. The timing didn't catch them. They'll still be able to have a pretty decent sight hit with that free recon, essentially.
Already. Oh, it's a very awkward fight, and spotting out Camo. He's decided to go aggressive, but he's been caught from behind. The flashback takeover. They were so busy watching where Hyunmin went that they've ended up losing the rest of the site. A singular shock dart kill for Trex. But I'm just looking at Nats. He's not fighting this. He's got no interest. In fact, just going to go sit within his setup. DRX are going to have themselves a 5th round, and it all comes back off. Again, this double duelist is just putting the defensive side into disarray.
Well, you can see from Team Liquid's perspective on the B site, the whole idea is that they're going to stop you from breaking through that choke point. And they do that with Patatek's utility, stalling them out completely. But the problem is you have Flashback being able to just make his way in without actually challenging, while Hyunmin is taking that initial contact and is unpunishable, essentially. As he dashes in, immediately refracts back to B main, and that's Flashback's moment to take advantage of the chaos, ripping the back line of Team Liquid wide open. And as you said, immediately that call is made by Nats. We're not playing this retake. Even though they'd found one, the 2v4, not worth it when the weapons are, as you said at the start, not in a good spot. Economically, they were being punished already. But the Blade Storm made up for it the next round. That won't be there.
Yeah. Well, I really love the way they're using the refract. It's like Hyunmin's goal is to almost look at me. Like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to go in, I'm going to find info, and then I'm going to retreat back. And at the same time as he's retreating, Flashback is going forward. And so everybody, and rightly so, is focused on the guy who's just dived into the site. And they don't realize how far Flashback managed to get. Like, you can even see from the aggressive position of Camo, he's trying to blade storm the players down on the other side. He doesn't even know there's a guy behind him.
Yep, this is a problem. When you combine that with the utility thrown in towards the back of the site, which I believe it was Mako's paranoia, it would have sent Kiko running towards the spawn. I mean, that's the guy that should be covering the angle that Camo was leaving open behind him, the angle that was taken by Flashback. It's so well put together by DRX. That is a beautiful set play. And for Team Liquid, and even with the disruption of Team Liquid, the set play still works. For Team Liquid now, they call a pause, and of course they do. 5-1 down. And this isn't just 5-1, but you know what, guys? We haven't gotten in our rhythm yet. No, your rhythm is being disturbed. You are dancing to DRX's tune, and you're tripping all over yourself. 2 left feet, and they've got to course correct soon. A 4-round gap doesn't seem like much, but this could get out of hand if DRX continue this momentum. And think about the 1 round Team Liquid won. It was still extremely close.
Well, yeah, and something to talk about as well is like you're seeing those trips being shocked, you're seeing positions clearly being well known. Even though this is a slightly different Liquid roster, compositionally, it's all the same. So I feel like DRX, with the amount of extra time they've had to prep, knowing the game well in advance for that first match of the tournament, this is seeming like a well-drilled side. And Liquid, well, if they did prep for the comp that they're currently up against, they've probably prepped for everything, because I don't think most would have seen this coming.
Right here.
Now, I don't mean to peel back the curtain too much and sort of explain how the trick is done, but that wasn't actually Tom earlier. That was Durka. I hate to spoil the magic for all of you at home, but one of the things that he said when he saw that agent select come up was that he's a huge fan of Waylay. And honestly, and he also said he thinks Hyunmin's going to do fantastic with the buff from the Croissant earlier on. Now,
yeah, I didn't say that.
If he is a fan of the Waylay already, I imagine watching DRX use it is either just confirming that opinion or maybe even building on it. Because the way they're using it is so damn nice, combined with Flashback. This double duel is doing so much work. And Team Liquid's job shouldn't be to work on this round. It should be to think about the next, but they've already managed to make it competitive. Oh man, I thought Camo had the play, but they spammed through the smoke.
Spike planted.
Yeah. Nats as well, incredibly low. He did take a hit. Because of that, once again, looks to fall back and just save the weapon. It really feels like that has been the majority of his game so far. We've talked about him a lot. In EMEA, he was tearing everybody a new one, and one of the sort of most exciting storylines for me coming into this match is him playing against Marker, a rematch of that Gambit versus Vision Strikers back from 2021. That was the last time they played against each other. It's one hell of a storyline with a lot of parallels. A superstar turned IGL, looking like a veteran at only 23 years of age. Well, right now, Nats hasn't showed up yet, which I don't think is something I've said for ever.
Oh, we just cast the whole of stage 2, and I can confirm, first time I've heard that out of your mouth. Maybe like in a pistol round, like one single time.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd say he hasn't turned up in a pistol round.
Yeah,
you know?
it's been one round. It is definitely alarming seeing how this is playing out. A great sign for DRX, again, with the adjustments they've had to make with the constant roster shifts, bringing back the start of the year look, and I mean perfectly timed with Abyss coming back in from the start of the year, I suppose. Everything slotting into place. This Waylay, this Yoru, sensational, and we're only starting to see, you know, the first few pages of the playbook. There is definitely more behind this, and Team Liquid, if they lose this one, they're going to be terrified of what's to come.
Camo. First point of contact. He sort of swapped positions. Again, shock dart directly onto the trip. They have read his playbook. It seems like every single one of them has been perfectly positioned to just remove Nats' utility. But at least for now, it is a 5-player build-up in towards that A site. DRX has his ult, but is incredibly far away. I don't think he's going to have any impact in this round. And on the other side of things, immediately we'll see the popping of that dimensional drift. That's all the info they need. And they're trying to throw Util just to give nothing for Padatek, but he does survive.
The site being pressured, but around the side comes Paddy, still able to find another before going down as the 3 versus 2 comes into play. Hunter's Fury to push them back 35 seconds, but no way to deny this plant now. It will come through, and it's on Hyunmin to find something from here. If he gets this, he's got another Refract online. This could be huge. Or DRX to get back into this play. The drone thought about by Trax, and he'll wish he put it through. A huge punish from Hyunmin, but he falls eventually, leaving Mako alone. So a great start. His util's been well placed, but now he's got to do it rifle in hand. Nats holding him, and the bullet connects to the head. Team Liquid 6-2. It's not great, but hell, it's a start.
Yeah, it's something. And then that's Nats. Okay, it's his second kill, but it's his first impact kill. The last was in the last round where they basically already lost it already. But that was him versus Marco, the matchup I was talking about. And even still, it's desperately close. You still see like that utility being destroyed on one side of the map.
One enemy.
It's aggressive double dive style of play that is so difficult to hold against. Well, Liquid,
Bravo, good job.
have got themselves a second round. As I said, we watched the game earlier, and it was incredibly attack-sided, but as we've learned many a time, applying a single brush to every single team would be madness. Speaking of madness, this is so aggressive from Liquid. They've had enough.
They are not playing like a team that's down 6-2, and that's exactly what you need to see The spike taken, Bane spotted, and he is dead to rights in this corner. How many can he take with him? And it's only one. The start of the bounce back for Team Liquid in the previous round, and they have skyrocketed to success now. But still, 6-3. They have to lock it down for this half.
I respect that call. We talk about Nats this year coming into his own as an IGL.
One enemy remains.
The fact is you just sort of get through your second round of the entire game. You yourself not having the best individual game. What do you call? Let's rush it down B. I respect it. Like, it's bold.
We talked about this in yesterday's series as well. This is what's important. Being able to change it up, not play just one style. Have more than one hymn sheet to sing from, and then
doing it again.
Find some serious impact. They're being left in the dust. DRX shut down in these last 2 rounds. The same spot, a slightly different seasoning, but the dish is the same. Team Liquid 6-4.
I'm sorry. So you call that twice in a row? Like it is still the majority of this defensive side. Like, it was only Nats lurking in mid, I guess, getting the early information. The rest of it, like, this could be the replay of the last round. Like, I would not be able to tell the difference. They died slightly further back. I guess that's the only difference.
The only real difference is that, like, they went for the window push, so it was a much deeper aggression, whereas this time they're in almost a Congo line, ready for the window peak, thinking DRX will think we gave up that control. Let's fight for it now. They'll swing out and they'll get taken down by the firing squad. And instead, the firing squad wasn't needed because they had Kiko.
Do you reckon Turby's gone? I think we go A. Like, just after the last 2 rounds. Or he triples down. They're not going to do that 3 times on B.
They'll think we'll go A.
Exactly. Now it comes down to the mind games. But what a difference a few rounds can make. A 6-1 start, and then the last 2, well, you blink and you miss it. Those are like 20-second rounds apiece. They sped up the game and brought it back to a closer field. The DRX is going to be fairly important now, because this ends 6-6 after the start you had. It's going to feel devastating. Your direct hits were really working. Flashback, by the way, has been nuts. Like, there's not a player in the server particularly close. There's definitely not a player on his own team. He's 9 kills ahead of anywhere else.
Almost triple.
A lot of it's based off those setups. The setups have been fantastic, and I think that's why Liquid have decided, well, they can't set up if we fight them in their own spawn.
Yeah, exactly. Disrupt the execute.
Look at where they are. They're going to run it down mid.
Pick a different spot. Same old strategy, though. But I think it's a perfect counter to what DRX are doing. Like you said, it's all about the execute. The well-placed pieces of utility, the dry runs. Well, you can't dry run it if Team Liquid run it down at you. This is going to be a 5-man push. Everybody on... This is madness. Everyone on Team Liquid is pushing. Full aggression. A player up top drawing the eye. Kiko just needs to swing, and he will. Bring down. Paranoia sent through. Ready to swing on the back as the rest of the team, as Team Liquid continue to fry. DRX are in a 4v2. They've lost the spike, but they've got the TP. Mako can steal that spike away, and that's exactly what he'll do. Okay, they've lost a lot of players, but at least they should be able to find a plant.
And luckily for him, the man alongside him has been the hero for this DRX squad so far. Looking for a fight, but look how patient Trex is on the other side. We've criticized him for over-peaking, and this time he won't be caught. Marco in a 1v4. We've seen it once, but not this time. It will be a 5th round for Liquid. A rush B, a rush B, and a rush mid. This might be one of the most unorthodox defensive sides I've ever seen. But it's working.
I'll tell you one time, when they put this map back in the pool, I said I wasn't a big fan of it.
That's an understatement and a half. You have complained about it for the last few weeks.
I'm trying to censor my opinions a little bit, but I'm starting to become a fan of it. Is this how you're supposed to play? I'm taking this to rank.
Well, this is deathmatch.
This is literally run it down. Now we see a more conventional approach, I think. You never know until barrier goes up. There's going to be an off-in play for Trex. You've got an Odin for Camo, so I'm not sure where I was going with the conventional approach. But a little bit of A-main aggression, not with the whole team, but a flash and a deep peek expected.
Oh yeah, very deep peek. Early TP. I had a mini heart attack for a second.
He has updraft. He
has his updraft. Okay. Convergence path used into the B side. Back to that execute-heavy style, but it is much more of a retake setup this time for Liquid. They have been caught out on these openers every single time, so they've avoided it completely this time.
Yeah, conceding the space, letting them burn utility, avoiding the fights until it's on favorable ground. Now the rest of the squad comes through to join the fight. Patatek, the first to draw blood. Hyunmin going to fall at the hands of Camo's Blade Storm, and the B-site's already overtaken. We don't have the Hunter's Fury online for Bane, but one away. If he can find a pick, this gives them a huge chance in the round to recover. But it's a 3 versus 5. They need to be firing on all cylinders already. The reveal lands onto Mako. He's got support though. It's Spring swinging through the smoke, but Camo's there to greet him. And Bane, the last man standing under heavy pressure. The defuse already underway. He's got a swing, and there's 2 players to greet him. 6-6 after a dominant start for DRX. It's neck and neck at the half.
Absolute crazy recovery coming out from Liquid. 6-1 down, 6-6 on the half. It is all to play for. We'll be back after the break.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, this was swings and roundabouts, really. One side, DRX dominant to begin, and then Team Liquid climbing back into it as we get into our Coinbase Econ report. You can see our highlight here, Camo. He certainly stepped up towards the end of that first half.
Yeah, he didn't like Marco, it seems. It did a lot of damage to him, and no surprise that versus Flashback it's not gone too well. But yeah, realistically, this game has been madness. Like, if you split this up literally down the middle, it looks like 2 completely different games. DRX dominated with their early executions, and then you saw the adaptation from Liquid of just, okay, we're not going to let you execute. We're just going to run it down, and immediately see the game completely flip with what was an excessive amount of kills for Flashback at the beginning. He's now only 1 ahead of Camo, who was actually one of the players that coming into the match I was going, I don't know if this guy's going to be able to match up. Well, I was thinking more so versus Hyunmin, but he has. He's been insane in these last 5 rounds. And well, at 6-6, we said it is anyone's map to take, but this is DRX's pick, so you kind of feel like they're the ones that need to take it now on the defense.
Well, at the halftime, the crowd was certainly with Liquid. The energy up, the chant was going for the majority of it, but it's silence in the crowd as they wait now to see how this will play out. Camo diving deep, but unlike Hyunmin, he doesn't have the ability to fall back without refract. Space taken is committed to. But the B site will be overrun nonetheless. DRX, many players nearby. Flank coming through with the deep A main push already from Fring, but you've got the same thing from Nats as he moves around mid. Hyunmin's there to greet him. And now they can just pause a moment for the retake, but they see DRX are spotting this aggression from Team Liquid. They need space on this attacking side, and so it's straight into the spawn they go. Mako there to greet them, and the right click is kind to begin. Shock Dart is going to drop Bane, though, and make this a little bit more difficult, but still, the advantage with the defenders. Drax boxed in, and Kiko shut out.
this is where DRX historically have always done their best work, those retake setups. I like how patient they were. A lot of the time you're going to see players get itchy feet, get a little bit over aggressive, want to take a fight on their own. You see the sort of intelligence of Marco at that back position. He waits at the box, gets a burst, falls back. It's like, okay, you want to fight me? You've got to swing me. I'm not going to give you that fight once again. And even Bane, okay, he goes down, but he doesn't want to give away anything. They're just waiting for that flank, patient and controlled. And after what was a pretty nasty streak from Liquid, that's the return DRX were looking for.
Yeah, Mako even getting revenge onto Camo for that first half with his opening pick, but from that point it was just pure discipline. DRX, you got to think about it. The last 5 rounds, 6 rounds or so, they have cooled down. Players feeling like their shots aren't landing because, well, they weren't. But that pistol and a follow-up, that's going to give them the ability to build that momentum right back up.
Has Trex got a hero stinger?
Yes, he does.
He had a hero stinger. It's already gone. I guess an attempt to do some damage, and that attempt's not going great. It's fallen into the hands of Nats, and he's going to meet the same fate. Flashback, back to winning ways, 17 and 10. Come on, it is the conversion, but this is, at least nowadays, this is about as much of a bonus as you're ever going to see. It is mostly SMG snipers and only a singular rifle, maybe an extra one purchased up, but not much to play with whatsoever for the side of DRX in this round.
Not bad work from Flashback too. You mentioned it. He was close to triple the kills. The next player on his team early in that first half. Well, that cooled down. I think
Still a double.
He ended in roughly that position. Those 3 certainly help him out. It's all about that return to momentum for DRX. Team Liquid now, they've got to find their footing. Rifles come out. This is their round. Advantage in almost every fight that they take. In fact, it should be every.
Coward got tagged quite low early on.
A stinger.
He's got to be very careful. Flashback, just popping flashes through as the team look to try and get in. Marco's managed to find one, but it's Kiko stepping up. They've still got to be careful. As said, this is as about a pure bonus as you're ever going to see. These are low-value weapons, and the more cost that this causes, the more rebuys that are needed, and it's definitely starting to get a little bit shaky. Panic attack there to seal the deal, but only 2 standing, Mitch. It's not great. He just picked up a stinger.
A little oopsie at the end.
Yeah, but that's gone from now 2 rifles being saved to 1 rifle being saved and a stinger.
So this is the thing, we've seen this gradual shift towards having these 3rd rounds be actually very strong with teams, like at least 2 to 3 rifles.
Did he
coming
drop
in.
a Phantom? Was he just looking for a better skin? Yeah. Heart attack, man. Oh, no.
Yeah. And you know the best part is, he still has a rifle. It's Camo that has to pay the price. It's Camo.
Hey, bro, I got a gun for you. I got a gun for you, bro.
Yo, swap real quick. There you go. Stinger given over. But for Team Liquid, they win the round that they should have. But even up against those weaker weapons, it being so close is scary. Camo's gone diving. Stinger in hand. Paranoia sent through, but it finds nothing. And now flashback onto Trex. This is becoming difficult for DRX. They've got full control. Well, what if Team Liquid got to respond? 1 by 1.
Yeah. They are walking into the trap. They are walking into the players. And it felt like, at least with Camo diving in, there wasn't a lot of follow-up behind it. Maybe hoping somebody would give them a gap elsewhere, but it hasn't happened. And now with Nats and Kiko, the last 2 standing. Some would call them cats. But right now, they're meeting the claws of DRX.
Backside play from Mako. He's going to be the only one taking this fight. Kiko's a chance to isolate it, but it's Mako to take him down. Spike went off the map for a moment, but it's right back up there. Fortunately, I don't think it makes much of a difference to Nats. It's about as retrievable either way. Sitting in that laneway, he's locked out completely. And he knows now there's one coming behind on mid. I mean, at this point, the round is done. Yeah. Saving the weapon is pretty much the only choice, especially as we've said before. Look at the ultimates on DRX. Left. A few close. Players could have them for the next round. You just don't want them to build up, especially when what you're farming up is a neural theft. That's DRX, 9-7, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a pause after how this round went down, especially with already the sting of the stinger being brought through.
Yeah. It's an odd one because I feel like they've been able to get themselves back into the game without too much help from the coaches so far. They did have the pause earlier, but I think they have a lot of faith in Nat's ability to IGL. He's definitely been having a terrible game individually, which at least in recent times is a rarity, but coming back in on a map that hasn't been played since the beginning of the year, it normally does put the extra pressure on the IGLs. We saw it with Marco at the beginning of the game as well. He started slow, but as DRX progressed, so did he individually as well. But it is going to be that timeout taken. It's in a spot, though, where ultimately you're not expecting much for this round for Liquid, because the economy just isn't going to be there.
I think this is all about nurturing the mental, honestly, Tom. Like, we look at two things. One, it's, I imagine, not going to have been looked on in a very nice light that you're swapping skins and ending up with a downgrade. That's already going to stink.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
When they play on the tournament climb, they get all the skins, right?
Yeah.
Why is he not just using that skin?
Well, I assume, guessing he picked it up off someone already or something like that. I don't know. But the thing is, you've got that, but I think more importantly, you then have how the round played out. You see Camo dive in, and there's utility to support him. But from that point when he goes down, and hell, he only has a stinger, so probably he is going down, it then crumbles. Like, one by one, they took those fights. It looked easy for DRX. And you can't have that repeated. I think, you know, we talk about pauses sometimes. There's different reasons behind them. That is a panic button from the coaching staff. The second you see that like third kill of the round go down, it's time to stop and take a breath. Now, apply the learnings in the next round, because this one ain't got a lot to work with. At least Camo's given the upgrade as sort of a payoff of his sacrifice in the previous round.
To be fair, you're going towards that Blade Storm. The other ultimates you might want, Padatek's going to have his, Trex has his, so it's the most logical player. But also, you go back to when they were winning those last few rounds of the previous half, it was a lot down to him individually. And there you go, once again, Marco down. There is still another player that they have to deal with. The slow thrown in, but not connected. Refracting back out of the site, but it leaves the teammate alone. Bane has fallen, and Padatek's won a battle with the Ghost.
That he has through the smoke, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Pure spammage in play. Flashback and Fring left with nothing to do. And, well, I guess I misspoke. I said it's about time to apply the learnings in the next round.
Fair play, Lohan.
Why not start here?
Yeah.
Well done, Lohan and Yaotzin. That is great work.
Standing ahead.
It does also mean that I never want to see Camo taking the light gun again, because getting the opener, I think just again, like the usage of that slow hasn't really worked out. And because of that, it did leave a little bit to be desired for Hyunmin. Like if you throw that and they're stunned, great. Maybe you take that 1v2, but you jumping into the site, it was a risk, and that risk didn't pay off.
I mean, the risk itself is also just to confirm, like, you've lost Mako, you don't have eyes on sight, you don't want to call for those rotations from B and find out it's a fake, so you dive in there to try to claim that information, same as on the attack side, and then he just refracts back out. The fact that he gets shot through the smoke like that is quite unlucky, as we get a MasterCard Thrifty from Team Liquid. That could bring them right back into the game. One round behind, and a great correction. The other thing I'll touch on is the fact that, obviously, Camo, sometimes he does have to take that lighter weapon, right? Because in this round, you ain't got anything but the Guardian. Sure, give it to him. But a lot of the time, you're going to be running this with a dive. And if you're diving in with a rifle, and there's a stinger, you know, 30 meters behind you supporting you, it's not going to do very well. We don't have that right-click bind anymore, so it's just one of those things.
You can't be twice in one game. Twice.
He knows.
Oh,
he knows. He knows I love him.
Well, 9-8. Oh, flashback almost gone immediately. He's actually still going, though. He's taken the angle. The spams aren't going to connect because he's already passed the box. I don't know if they're even going to realize, but he doesn't connect. It's not worked out. Not the start they were looking for. And with flashback gone, again, it leaves an opening on the back of this A site.
Yeah, he might have been able to get away if he hadn't been tagged down to 18 HP at the start of the round. The wall bangs here. I think every shot that hit him was through that box. Maybe he'll be a little more cautious of it in future. Pressure on for DRX. A hold towards this A site with 2, but the info not quite there. Hyunmin already having to fill in that mid gap. The old pop lets them know. All eyes should be on this choke point. This is the spot that Fring holds on to tightly. They'll eventually fall, but the damage is done. Surely DRX tries so desperately to pull it back. Patatek traded out as he's brought back in. DRX somehow walks out with 3. He's left on 2 HP, but it's only Mako up against him. Both players low, and the spike still to be planted.
I've seen this one before. A 1v2 chance for Marco. Nats on the other side. This time he delivers a Trex is on just 2 HP. He's had an insane round so far, but needs a little bit more. 20 seconds left. Marco can just opt to play the time, but he will reposition to perfection. A Red Bull clutch, and this time he gets it done. 1 for 1.
I mean, he was very close to getting it on the initial wallbang as well. Just a great read from Mako when re-entering into that site. How DRX found so much value. I mean, this round seemed won at this point.
Bait on Paddy.
So
like,
beautiful.
He brings it back. And
What? I thought he was the one that ran through. It was Nats that ran through. He just
he basically realized where Paddy got shot from.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's actually insane.
Well, luckily, Marco is there to win them the round. The start they were looking for. A lovely dart that goes around the back and makes sure there's no aggression this time. Of course, still economy for Liquid because of the fact that they won on a low buy. Otherwise, they would have been in danger here. They're trying to find a little bit of early spam, but there's still a cam behind them. All the information will be revealed for freeing, but it's when he wants to use it. I think he's waiting for the timing on them actually looking to move, and then he has the chance to get a free kill, but no, instead ends up hunting for info.
Danger ping on mid. Reveal follows it up, confirming the space isn't taken, but they know that Nats was looking for space around there. Clearly expecting this A-hit. Traps already on site. Camo bypassing him. He's up top. Bladestorm hasn't spotted the player on backside. Fring gets the jump on him. Bane with 1, but it's Kiko stepping up for the double, giving Team Liquid a chance to continue drawing breath. A 10-8. 3 versus 3, but it's Nats going walkabouts that gets punished. Walking into the whole enemy team. And with the old pop from Flashback, DRX have all the info.
Trex, I think he's starting to consider whether or not using that Hunter's Fury is worth it, but Kiko going down, it's not anymore. He needs to win a fight or 2. He had a chance to be the hero in a round prior, but lost the clutch to Marco. Now he sat versus 3, but the only thing really on his side is the time. Convergence path, uses walk back into it, and now he's in trouble. Shock Dart could go in, but there's not really anything else he can do other than try and spam a bullet or 2. Solid ult usage from DRX, and they will find their way up to 11. I also want to query, was that a stuck from the shadows for Kiko, where he gets those 2 kills? I feel like it wasn't noticed. Yeah, it was. Wow. He TV's behind them. They're so busy dealing with Camo. That's crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately, the rest of his utility belt didn't do him too well. Caught in no man's land, isolated by that ult that went through from Flashback that got them all that space, got them all the information. A big contributor to the round, as he has been to this game for DRX. 11-8 now. A 3-round gap in the battle for the best on Abyss seems to be coming to a close. Team Liquid invest.
Do you remember the last half?
Was the attack side too?
But it was also a very early start for DRX, and then a comeback for Liquid. So I'm not going to count any chickens just yet. Hunter's Fury put through. Camo is completely blinded at the back of the site, and when he does finally escape the Hunter's Fury, he is executed. Already 4 players in a fast rotation from DRX. They've been good at the retakes thus far, but this time they have no plans to retake. And they also have so much control on the other side of the map. Look at the push-up already from Marco. He's so deep on that A-site control that there's absolutely no way back.
This is the problem, I think, though. Look at how many rounds Camo goes diving in, lands, and goes, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah.
There's no one here. What do we do? And that's when DRX execute back out and take him down. They don't have the ability to punish like that when you're Team Liquid because you're playing against Hyunmin on the waylay. He's able to constantly get in, land, go, we've got the info, fall back, and then go, hey, what do we do now? And that benefit is leagues above what is being brought to the table by Team Liquid here. And you need to see other ideas. And we're not really. Even there, when Camo goes down, Seconds later, there's still 4 players in main. They're not able to actually do anything about it, and even saving seems to be an impossible task as they get run over by DRX, flattened in a flawless round, and 12-8 the score on the board. Match point for DRX on map number 1.
It's actually the fun thing about the composition for DRX is you're going to look at this composition and go, okay, they have 1 initiator. But if you look at the way they're playing it, it's almost like they have 5. Like, you've got every single player in some way or another able to get you information, be it based off ultimates, being based off abilities, or your cam, etc., etc. And they're doing very well to find that out early, like be it an aggressive flashback peek and TP, be it the same with Hyunmin, be it the same with Marco. Like, they are constantly challenging for this control. And Liquid are yet to really find an answer. Nats is 2-11, by the way. He has had a really rough time. Since that 1v2 attempt from Marco in the previous half, that was the last time he got a kill.
I remember. You said it was the first impact kill, and, well, depending on how this goes, it may well be his last.
His only.
Of any, yeah, exactly. Of any kind. 4 rounds in a row needed for Liquid. And on this attack side, it has not been kind. This isn't like the first series of the day. It's a completely different flavor. Dive in from Camo. Does well to find 1, but an immediate punish comes through. DRX, they are holding strong across the map. It doesn't matter which battleground they have to fight. Full control for the defensive side, and with 40 seconds left, the final threads fraying from the loom on Abyss.
Again, they look like they're running into a brick wall. 1 player will take the charge, and this time, that 1 player fighting alone has actually managed to even up the score. Kiko's done well, but there are still 2 players waiting on the other side. Kiko has TP into his own smoke, just trying to garner a little bit of extra space. Hyunmin is well aware of it, though. And the other 2 players still trapped in main. They want to try and swing this together, and they will, but Marco's still here. 12 seconds left. They know where the remaining players are, but sticking this button is going to be difficult. Kiko had to body block it down. Nats is all that remains, and he remains no more. DRX are going to be there and back on the international stage with a first map victory.
Well, Yao Itsin said, assistant coach at Team Liquid, he said he wanted to see DRX early on here, and this is the same as the previous map. 2 very different ideas in terms of what comps are being brought to bear. But what we saw in map number 1, it seemed like DRX had cracked the code to Abyss, certainly to playing against Team Liquid. And now, do you think it's going to be the same on this map?
I think that Liquid are going to be a lot more comfortable. I think you could tell that they really didn't have their protocols in place when it came to Abyss. Yeah. At the same time, DRX had clearly done prep into even their old composition of where certain trips were being placed. They will have done a lot of prep. They have, at least in the last few months, 5 matches of bind to watch of Team Liquid. So definite opportunities. This is the man I'm looking at, though. Because I don't think I've ever seen Nats have 2 maps that bad, ever. And this is his map.
This is the one. The recovery for Team Liquid. Hyunmin back to his old tricks. Flashback there alongside him, and Hyunmin with its 3rd kill of the round. His 2nd. DRX in a 5 versus 2. This has gone downhill very quickly. There's your stats powered by AWS. 24.6% of the time, Team Liquid are getting the spike defuse, and in a 2v5, I imagine that stat's even worse.
This is going to be tough to try and break back into. It's mostly going to come down to mistakes, and I want to give credit in the last map as well to DRX. They weren't really making silly errors. They were looking like a well-oiled machine, and well, it is a flawless pistol round to kick things off. I believe that's 3 for 3 as well in terms of the pistols so far this game.
One of the things to look at as well on this B and A site when we get back in game, I challenge you, look at the map and think about the differences between this and Abyss. On Abyss, it's a lot of open space. It's a lot of long laneways approaching a site. When you dive in, getting back out is so valuable. Here, Hyunmin has the ability to actually dive into corners, into crevices, and fight his way back out alongside his teammates. That's what we see here in the pistol, and I think that's what we're going to see in some of the future rounds as well, especially if it's combined with some flashes from the Yoru of Flashback. This is a very difficult composition to play against. Team Liquid certainly have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they're kind of unlucky that they are the team that's almost the guinea pig. They don't get to go into the next game and study what their opponents are doing. They've got to adapt on the fly. And what a very aggressive start to this round. Camo's the only one that's really invested anything into it. A cheeky Bucky. A very, very passive hold from the side of DRX. You can kind of understand why, but this time it's a little bit different to the last buy we saw in their bonus. They were going heavy on those SMGs, and sure, they've got one, but a couple of pistols mean that they can afford casualties, but also in the next round, they'll be able to afford some extra rifles as well.
That's exactly it. Last time it was all about securing that second.
They're so ready for it.
A map with so much range. Now they can afford to have those weaknesses, if you want to even call them that. Certainly not in this fight. There's the Bucky. Finding one, difficult to use when you're having to reclaim space, but they'll at least get off to a good start. Problem is, I don't think there's much to be upgraded there.
Spike planted.
Kiko might be able to grab something. Bane is not aware of him by the looks of things and comes to clear it and loses his life. Camo with another. This is now getting very dangerous. What's left is still Hyunmin. He has been huge, and Mako really heated up towards the end of the last map. It's Hyunmin to find one, to fall back now, create the space, force uncomfortable fights. It's a classic and a Bucky. All you gotta do is make sure you're far away, but Nats taking now Mako, puts the pressure on Hyunmin. Defuse underway, Bucky guarding short, and it's Camo third! An immediate response from Team Liquid in round number 2.
Don't know why you're looking at me like I can explain what I've just seen.
A Bucky and what, 4 classics? They didn't even have a sheriff, did they?
The thing is, okay, the Bucky is bad, but it's more so where the Bucky was. Like, it was playing in showers, and they planted in towards that A short position. Like, the fact that he's able to go into the smoke, kill a man, and then push all the way back in. Like, these are fights that you should never, ever, ever win with a Bucky or a classic. It makes no sense. And, well, I guess I'm eating my words from the prior round about overextensions, because I definitely felt like there were some silly mistakes. Early attempt at a response. Note that they didn't buy back in with those rifles. They've gone with some SMGs instead, keeping their economy good, hopefully for the next round. But just look at what's on the other side. It is full rifles for Liquid. Huge boost to economy.
Oh yeah, I mean, losing the pistol, winning second is about as good as it can go, especially when you didn't even invest into the second. It wasn't a force fight. Up close, Hyunmin, flashback.
You gotta win third.
This is getting scary. Yeah, it's all about building that economy early for Liquid and how strong they look, but hell, if you lose this round, we're right back to square one.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice nade alongside a snake bite and a poison orb. It's a freebie on range. Trex is dominating, and it will end in favor of Liquid. Costly, sure, but a 2-1 lead nonetheless. It's better than they got on map 1.
I could already tell this game's going to be hectic. Already at the few rounds into Bind, and it's looking exciting. This is the sort of power of that double dive into the site. It just creates so many awkward spots for players to try and fight within. But Trex, again, he definitely had his moments. But the fact is, his multi-frag was necessary in this round. And now, well, this is where DRX finally have rifles of their own.
They're not afraid to let Liquid know. An immediate headshot from Flashback. Puts this into a 5v4. That was the orb claimed by Camo. He's got himself a showstopper for the next round. And this would be the exact round you wanted in. Good housekeeping early on from the attack side. The push in towards Hookah could be a little dangerous. Point of contact is going to be Trex, but he is baiting for Kiko in the corner. The problem is he goes down, so now they don't have to clear that right side, and Prowler comes in. That's Kiko shut down. DRX are walking their way into this site. Patatek, the only one standing in their way now, and a flash, sure to blind him. He dodges it just about and at least claims one more. But it looks like an impossible position for Nats, who's coming off the back of a pretty rough start in the previous.
This is where DRX have been tough to beat. Falling back, holding together, and while making his way through that smoke was never going to happen. An immediate response from DRX, and after a costly round, it's going to put Liquid on the back burner here.
What a crazy start to this game. Trex gets so unlucky. I think if he can actually fall back inside Hookah, there's a good chance combining with Panatek down on site. They've got the flashes for the re-clears after the initial fight, or the support on a re-swing. But him going down, it just makes it impossible. The extra Prowler, instead of going right, goes left, catches Kiko.
Where are you?
And the pieces of the puzzle start to come together for DRX. Now, Showstopper we mentioned for Camo, but again, then look at the round we're in.
There.
It being online so early, yeah,
They've got a Bucky, what do you mean?
Oh, good point, actually. I didn't think of that. They don't have a rifle anymore. That's going to have to be retrieved. But on the other side as well, if anything goes wrong, DRX have got 2 big ultimates to get them right back into the game.
I'd be surprised if they need them.
They shouldn't.
But it really does feel like, especially going back to the last map and this one, it feels like they've maybe just spent the entirety of that extra break they had just aim training. Like, everybody is looking so crisp on the DRX side. Flashback on that duelist has been impressive. Hyunmin still firing, and at least in this map so far, there hasn't really looked like a weakness. Already going to spot the player on site.
There.
Kiko has been able to at least retrieve that singular rifle, but they are just waiting for him to make that move.
Again, we see that other layer. We've seen Hyunmin dive in, take space. This time dives in, takes info, falls back, and it's his teammates to execute on the back of that information. Kiko's being very patient. Not swinging out, and it's a good thing, too. Wraps back around to meet up with Trex, finds Flashback. It's a good start, but still, that Bucky on Trex, he needs something else. And in fact, up close, he might have a chance of punishing Hyunmin. They've heard the Bucky fire. Hyunmin's down to 30. The Trex is all alone. This round already done. I guess the question was, could he get any more? And the answer is a resounding no. 3-2. DRX right back in the lead.
Yeah, and they keep both of those ults, more importantly. It's only a singular player loss. It's just a straight spam through. Angles known, and then patience. Similarly to the last map on this defensive side, we've seen those attempts at aggression. But it seems like this squad led by Marco have been very comfortable in just sitting back, taking those individual fights. This is where we wait to see if there's a response. Now, something that Liquid love to do is this deep smoke, deep flash, pressure down. And that's what they look to do again.
DRX are ready for it, but the showstopper causes issues. The flash is perfect from Trex. And a dominant round from Team Liquid. And we saw this on the previous map as well. Sometimes they just want to take the fight to you, defensive side, but they're playing the attack.
I'll be honest, if you've ever watched Liquid play this map, you've seen that strat. They absolutely adore it. The second you see that smoke going down deep, you have to be wary. A lot of teams will even play behind that box all the way back deep towards the spawn just to have a safe spot, but they did not do that. You could see how blind the players were on the other side, and even escaping wasn't really an option. A set play that's successful, and in fact, they're going to take early space on that side of the map again. As you can see, DRX immediately is like, no, you know what, I don't want that heat, we're going elsewhere.
And the importance as well of having the showstopper in that moment and the second flash on Trex, because the first flash, it catches 1 or 2. There's still 2 players ready to fight. But as soon as showstopper pops, everyone's looking to face. They realize we can't fall back, we have to fight. And that's when the Gecko flash wins them the round. Great utility coming out of Team Liquid, but DRX now, still with rifles, still with those big ultimates, 1 away from Spring having the Viper's Pit, and it's going to be Orbital Strike immediately, covering off that backside of Lamps as they go in to clear it. Plant can now be secured. Spans through the smoke, always going to be dangerous. Trex finding that extra information and clearing out all this space, but when they see so many of the players from Team Liquid flooding into the A site, ults being committed, the TP is taken, and DRX go all the way out to the B site. Easy plant. That's a great adjustment, thinking on their feet.
Yeah, and look at the ults they have as well. Convergence path can completely stun up the players. That's immediately going to be used, in fact. That's 3 players that are just stuck in the spawn. The nade has been used just to try and quell any aggression, but DRX have no interest. Oh, we got a 5v4. We don't need to take the risk. Seeker's used on the other side to garner that extra little bit of space, but now the Viper's Pit hits onto the spike. This is a losing battle, or so it seemed. Liquid somehow striking back. Panatek with an immediate double, and a spray through onto Vayne leaves 1. Freeing. He should be able to deny the first. Needs to at least try, and has done so, but Nats is there in response. Time-wise, there will be...
Oh, it's close!
Oh, just about enough. But a fantastic retake from Liquid. As said, Convergence Path, Viper's Pit, and somehow they make their way back in.
I thought that was perfect play from DRX, to be honest. Hyunmin putting the ult down, it's very reminiscent of the Visals buying them time.
They were under a second off.
Yeah, 0.7. But that's spam from Nats. And then the invasion of the pit. That's what makes the difference. Team Liquid take the lead 4-3 now. And for DRX, it's a costly loss. As we get back into the game, you'll see the economy there. It's not looking pretty. They're going to have to take a light buy. And unless there's a miracle on their side, that's a 2-round lead for Liquid. What a back and forth game this has been. We'll see if momentum and fate will finally choose a side.
I don't think so. From everything we've seen so far in this match.
Game of tennis.
It seems like we're going to spend the whole game on juice. And only a final advantage will be found at the end. Again, the Stinger has been a real irritation for Liquid. Nade will do some damage onto Marco, but he will be able to escape. Post-plant with a Molotov, a Seize as well, a Snakebite. Like, they've got some post-plant utility to play with here. They don't, however, have guns.
Yeah, with the pistols, you think you even want to put that Viper's Pit in. It's usually not the play. Baiting out that utility already, you can see Grim Molly goes up, but it takes so long to land. They've got so much time, and it doesn't matter! They're doing it with the pistols! The MasterCard Thrifty! I thought they've got enough utility to buy time to make it close, but that was anything but close!
You were saying something about choosing a side and finally building back into the game, getting some momentum. I think it was immediate 1-2 punch. I think even they're surprised as to what's just happened. Yeah.
I was looking at the utility belt for a second. Oh, they've also got Nevermind. Everyone's dead. That's incredible.
Wow, Liquid are going to take themselves a pause. You can understand why they win a close round. Immediately just get decimated by pistols. Unable to really get going. Funnily enough, I think the biggest streak they will have had is in the end of the first half of the first map, where they brought it back to 6-6. It wasn't even them taking a lead. It was just, that was the streak. And then every time DRX have had some form of combo breaker. As we said, it looked like the build up to that round was all about post plants. How are they going to have a sweaty setup? No, they just headshot everybody. It's as I said, I think they've just been practicing their aim for the last month. That's what it looks like.
I think you might have hit the nail on the head there, Tom. That,
give me the deathmatch routine. That's all I'm going to say.
Drop it. Drop it right now. DRX should have been 5-3 down. They really should have. And running through a smoke against any weapon, it's always dangerous, but you don't expect them to just pop off like that.
Yeah.
Every shot landing, every Sheriff finding its mark, and an immediate Viper's Pit going to come through here from Team Liquid. You can already see it being set up. Prowler forces Nats back, but no one's there to take the space.
This does make me a little bit nervous. I'm looking at Nightfall. Hyunmin's ability to basically get over the pit. That's why they have a player in the backlines in camo. He's going to be watching to almost try and defend off his teammate from behind, but there's a lot that can be utilized. And Trex, again, he's played this somewhat off angle before, but they have been ready and waiting. And I like the fact this time he's falling back. We've seen him challenge this before, and it has not really worked out.
Going back to the A site, you know, it's still an option, but you really got to be going through bathroom if that's the play. And DRX are leaving that door open by moving towards B long. They meet too much resistance, but 45 seconds left. Dash comes in, Refract online, first player spotted, stunned as well. Now they can try to close in that distance. That's exactly what they're doing. Trex under so much pressure. Patatek tried to help him out, but he ends up falling at the hands of Mako. And DRX, they're pushing into this site. Marquiko's falling for the decoy. Everything going the way of the attacking side since they pulled those Sheriffs out in the last. And Team Liquid, yeah, the snake bites landed a little bit of damage. Great, but it's time to save these weapons. No contest. It's 5 for DRX.
Nothing that can really be done at this stage, and a solid use of I believe it was the saturate, right? That bounced off the back and just left DRX in an awkward position. You can understand Paditek's response. Okay, I want to swing. I want to try and help my teammate out, but it just didn't go to plan. And from then onwards, it just seemed like the second they have even the slightest of opening, this composition just allows DRX to just steamroll into the site.
Just there when we were on POV of Nats, actually, I was watching the entire time that they've been saving. He has been rattling off words. I don't know what's being said, but big changes for Team Liquid. A lot of holes in the ship right now. A lot of wooden planks needed. Because the thing is, you say about DRX, they're hitting their shots, they won the round with the pistols, but here, Team Liquid aren't. Right, Trex is obviously, I can forgive his position, he's trapped in a tiny corner. The stun just about fading. But Paddy caught in this transitional period between taking the fight and falling back. It's an easy pick. And we can't see it be fed to DRX like this. 2 rounds in a row and a chance for an 8-4 half. With how these rounds are going, with where the economy's at for Liquid, it should at least be a lead for DRX in the end, with ults online for the next. Mainly looking at Mako, he should have that orbital strike, and no one's close on Team Liquid. Oh, I thought that's an info dive. He's full committed. Still go back.
Sticking it for now. He is going to try and go back, and there isn't really anybody that can punish from this angle. It's a solid start though. Nats now goes down, but bear in mind there were some severe weaknesses, and now Camo's coming in from behind. He could just end this round, but it's whiffy. It's really whiffy. Luckily, he's got Kiko to back him up, and Trex has managed to find one with a ghost. It doesn't end up going wrong for Liquid, but it very nearly did.
So yeah, DRX hitting all their shots. Sometimes for Liquid, that's not the case. Might be the most egregious example that we've ever seen, and good luck to Camo in living that one down. But 5-5 nonetheless. The rest of the team was able to pick up his mess, I'll say. And we may still see a neck-and-neck half. The game of Deuce continues. But what a chaotic set of rounds we have. The ult popped, it was full focus from them, but the reaction from Hyun Min, finding one, the 180 as a bullet whizzes past him. And
I think the POV we saw of Nats there just shows the chaos of the comp though. Like, he's having to full 180 to shoot out the haunt and then turn back in time to be able to shoot flashback. And he did that. Fair play to him. Like, his reactions were impressive, but they are making what is normally his home turf an awkward place to play. And we'll see if he can do it in that second half. There we go. Finally, there's been a missed shot on the other side of things, and Camo gets a little bit of revenge. Poetic justice, you could say. However, there's always a response, and that was incredibly clean from freeing Nats. I don't even know if his head was fully showing.
Well, it was found on the other side nonetheless. That was redemption for Camo to start, but Nats, same old thing. This time less utility involved. It's just a straight up duel that he loses. For DRX, that's a equalization in terms of numbers. It makes this A site much more vulnerable. Only now Trax is swinging out to try to clear that position on short, and I think he's seen some of them. Camo now turns to fight those players, and that's when Fring is going to be striking. Oh, doing damage as Hyun Min finishes them off, but Kiko does well to at least find himself two, leaving it onto Bane. Spike down, 15 seconds. That plant needs to be secured now.
Flash over the top. Second comes out from Sky. This is forced Bane into an awkward position, or maybe not. Trex has gone for the fight, and this time Bane, again, he's just going to stick it out. Eventually gets caught by the wingman towards from a player who died ages ago. He must have been running around for a few seconds.
I think he was just about to run out, and he caught a lock on. He found the player.
How has that happened? Like,
you hit the shot on the head.
Do we have a
Trex.
wingman POV? Is that an option? Because
I'm not sure.
Like, Trex was dead for ages.
Yeah, I'm not sure at all. 6-5 for Team Liquid, and MVP of this round may well be that wingman. There he goes, running it down.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I feel bad for Bane. I feel bad for him. Like, he did so well in that clutch.
You know the problem there? Crosshair placement. He's trying to headshot the wingman. And he's short. 6-5.
Is that what happens when someone tries to headshot you? Anyway, into the round. An aggressive start. A low weapon or two, and an immediate usage of that orbital strike. A pacey hit, and Well, it's got right past, spotted the players, one of them already being stunned up, and the fight back, Bane's revenge, as he will find a double. Freeing in position, they need to clear him, and they have. Gives them a chance.
Oh! Mako and Bane are so low! Nightfall goes through. Both players spotted up there. Info to play with, but Hyunmin, the man with the weight of the world on his shoulders now, his teammates have forced into a fight. The odds aren't looking to be in their favor. But time is ticking, waiting for the Nightfall to fade. The flash out sees no one. Close left clear, worried about long. Nats finding Mako, but it's Hyunmin finding himself the first, and Bane to swing deep. 6-6, neck and neck at the halftime.
A really impressive response once again, and an incredible half of Valorant. 6-6 as we stick it out. And honestly, the way that this game is going, it is looking like it's going to be potentially, Mitch, one of the all-time greats.
One enemy remains.
Certainly one hell of a start here on Bind. We've seen some long games, and if it keeps up, well, we might be adding this one indeed. You talked about the bounce back of Nats as well, and he has certainly looked good. But Tom, I've had enough of hearing from you. Okay. I want to go down to the main man who was up here earlier, Durka, who's standing by with me.
Et ai-je vraiment besoin de présenter la légende de Vitality, Durke, qui m'a rejoint? Hi Durke, welcome to Paris. It's a pleasure to welcome you here on Vitality's home soil. Thank you for being there, first of all. I think the fans appreciated you coming here, even though you're not playing. How does it feel, you know, having people cheering for you everywhere you go?
Feels amazing. We have a lot of fans here, and even though we didn't play here, I think we got still a lot of support. A lot of fans come in asking for pictures, signature and stuff, so it's like really nice. Merci les gars.
Merci les gars, and I think everyone is happy to hear this. Donc qu'est-ce que ça fait finalement d'avoir des fans qui viennent te voir, qui viennent te soutenir ici, même quand tu ne joues pas, et ben forcément leur soutien me va droit au cœur. Ça fait très plaisir, on espéra aussi faire mieux. Merci les gars, comme il le dit si bien. Second question about this match, I was wondering, are we rooting, you know, EMEA, or is there any player in DRX that you want to see winning?
I mean, always kind of for EMEA, I want them to succeed anyway, so I think my first initial prediction was like 2-1, but now it kind of gets tough, you know?
So you would say Liquid still?
Yeah.
Okay, rooting for Team Liquid. Du coup, qui est-ce que tu soutiens entre Team Liquid et DRX? On est toujours du côté de l'EMEA, donc on soutient l'EMEA. Thank you very much. Merci, Derke. And let's see if Team Liquid can take the win. Let's get back to the game.
Well, it's good to see one of my favorite co-casters down there in the crowd. We had fun earlier, and his predictions came through. He was talking a big game about Hyunmin, and that man has certainly delivered here today. I mean, just a stellar performance from him, but there's been plenty of heroes down on the server as we get into the Coinbase Econ report at halftime.
Yeah, for sure. It is looking maybe the most even you're ever going to see it. It's crazy as well that you think about how Hyunmin has been playing, and Nats is yet to damage him. He's just been flying over the top and is unable to really catch the man. It's like trying to catch smoke. He just disappears every time you get close. Even still, though, level at the half. And this is the map, this is the half where we talk about this man as the best in the world. Like, I don't think there's many arguments to be had in that respect. His positioning, especially towards that A side of the map, has always been problematic. But as said, the preparation we've seen from DRX going into this game, the difficulty they've caused with this comp, I am very intrigued to see if they can finally beat Nats.
Well, he certainly had a good bounce back, as we saw there in the stats from the previous map, where he was being shut down at every turn. A couple of rough openings, but for the most part, this has been night and day. Deep play from Team Liquid. Not afraid to get aggressive, and the full site's already cleared out. They're starting to get an inkling. DRX were doing something. There's no reason to leave A this open, so they expect the flank to be coming through. In fact, Nats expects the flank to be coming through. In goes the snakebite. He will be caught. Push up, but Kiko's watching his back. Team Liquid, a double opening, a 5 versus 3. They know that Mako's here as well. Ooh, but Nats has been tagged extremely low. It's an easy cleanup. But time is ticking.
Yeah, there's so much left to do. And not much left to do it with. The players in lamps are going to cause serious issues, and at this point, it's all about orbs. The clock is far too low already, and Marco, well, he's going to at least clean up a few, do a little bit of extra damage, but that is all she wrote. It will be Liquid taking their first pistol round of the series. We'll see if that is a turning point for them in this map. From what I've seen so far, probably not.
I have absolutely no faith. We've already seen second rounds go the way of the team who lost the pistol. We started it out that way, and for DRX, with the shots they've been hitting, I don't think anything in this match is guaranteed. It is a game of uncertainty. We came in with questions, one of them being who's the best Abyss team, and maybe now we've got an answer, but who's the best team? That's still up for debate. Still up for discussion, still up for competition as Team Liquid one round up. This should be housekeeping. It should be easy. A chore, an uncomfortable one sometimes, but not a difficult one.
Well, they are currently walking into a 4-man stack, and well, now that 4-man stack's coming to them. The defense trying to put the pressure on, but Kiko, he is not crumbling. Clean as you like. He's been one of the best in EMEA all season. And the crowd calling for an ace. I will say he is about as far away from freeing as humanly possible. He would have to have the greatest teammates on the planet. And I will say, they can only afford one death here. So I kind of hope that they're not throwing their weapons away for him to get an ace.
Actually, Camo might not have a choice. He's out here on long. He's 7 HP. A single shot from freeing will take him down, and that's exactly what happens. Damage on to Kiko as well. Lined up with Patatek. The chance for the ace is there, but we've seen it before. Patatek stealing the ace. It's poor form, Tom.
I don't think he could see the guy, but you know, I guess.
Never have shot.
Yeah, unfortunate. Oh wow. This is the sort of stuff you want to see from Kiko. Sure, it's up against pistols, but when he's on, he is a force to be reckoned with. And he is on most of the time.
Yo, Gio, you're the back. Wow.
Turned into Waluigi for a second.
I like this Poison Orb. That's really nice from Team Liquid. Using them to avoid the haunt that goes down early. Now Bane thinks that that angle should be clear at least for a little bit longer, and he goes out to Jet. Camo's there to greet him. Most of the squad of Team Liquid is there waiting for that peak. All the while they drag these rotates from DRX towards the B side, a mass exodus of A, and they can just go walking back. The space hasn't been taken though. There are players outside A, but no one has filled it in.
But also look at freeing. He is tagged so desperately low, so it's not like he can now go jump peeking, jiggle peeking, swinging angles, because a stray bullet, hell, even the Tiger could take him out at this stage. So he's got to be incredibly careful, and that's not really what is needed. In fact, they've had to gamble a second player over to this side of the map. And well, the Tiger's not going to finish him off. We'll see if somebody on the Liquid roster will.
Yeah, the Fangs didn't find him. But they're going to be aware of this position. His best play, wait for the rest of the team. Try to take advantage of the chaos. Hope that Liquid try to respond to the retake by pushing into his space. He can land that shot. But it's a passive play from Team Liquid. Not much utility left, and I think that's certainly of note at this point. Post plant isn't really that much of an option, not as deep as we'll see with this comp a little bit later on, I'd imagine. But Camo does well to find not their first of the round, but their first of the retake, a 3 versus 5. And the question for DRX, do we go for it? Do we risk these weapons with such little economy? And the answer is a clear no. They're running for the hills, and Team Liquid pushing up to 9.
Yeah, it's kind of a brutal scenario for them. They get absolutely played by the Poison Orb, which I'll say as well, with how powerful a post-plant tool that is a definite read from Liquid. That is them going, okay, they're going to try and get early info. Maybe they throw that haunt up high, as we've seen so many times. We hide within that Poison Orb. It's not the same as a sky smoke falling down, which is a very clear indicator that that has been avoided. And then because of that, they get that early pick, but also do enough damage on the other side of the map that I was actually looking at the contact point of where freeing was in lamps. If he swings, Camo is looking the complete opposite way and no one could cover him. But he doesn't have the HP to swing anymore. That was the one opening they had back into the site, and the second they lose another player, it's done. Like, you have to just retreat. Well, clearly feeling the pressure a little bit. We've spoken about Liquid streaking rounds together has been a tough thing to do, bar that first half of Abyss. Well, now that they've managed to win this one, go 3-0 up, DRX are feeling the pressure.
Well, this is the first time it's really felt like Team Liquid has the lead. They've got their hands firmly wrapped around those reins, and for DRX, the fight back, it's not out of reach just yet. But with 3 rifles saved, they've still got a decent chance at what will be a mixed buy or a light buy. They have a decision to make. How much do they invest into this? The ones with rifles, a little bit more, leaving themselves with less for the next, and does that mean a force-up? Maybe they try the bookie. Hell, it worked on the other side.
It's definitely not pretty. That's the other problem, is you save all these guns and you feel the need to reinvest into your utility. It can kind of create this offset of never really having a particularly decent buy if you don't manage to make this work. So it's definitely put them in an odd position. The other thing as well is it's not like, oh yeah, we've got this ult that can pad the gap. This ult, there's nothing. The closest is going to be Marco having that orbital strike if he can get either 3 kills or claim 2 orbs. And for the defense, claiming those orbs is definitely not easy. What their plan is, push. Taking that little bit of extra control towards the A site. The Liquid have other ideas.
Well, they had the chance to play through the TP from DRX if the pressure was put on there. But instead, they decided to go pushing down. Again, filling back into that space. Steps hurt. They've made the right read. There's no utility coming through from Team Liquid. It's a disaster! Marco!
Down A.
He has shut down that rotate. They were expecting a fight around the corner, but he steps through, takes the battle to them, and leaves Kiko in a 1 versus 5. What a game plan from DRX. Well played. The utility spent on B, the gradual fallbacks, the Viper wall up. It made it look like Liquid hadn't a chance if they went there. So they have to go the other way, and that's all part of the plan for DRX.
But you can see as well that I feel like Liquid's expectation was that was going to be a crunch. I think they put the poison orb on the TP, like basically just so that if anybody tried to get through, Nats could cover them. They were expecting aggression, just not in the right place. And once he goes down, well, the rest of the team immediately pivot, and they are just not prepared for the aggression of Marco, putting the team on his back once again, a vintage display of individual brilliance. And more some frustration, because as I said, that was still the economy of DRX on the brink. Now they managed to win with what was a couple of pistols still there.
With some upgrades as well. Bane coming in late for the Sheriff kill. He'll make it out. Flashback sticks around for 1, and he gets his reward. Camo playing ahead, maybe expecting that the TP had already been taken. Either way, it's a mistake. Nats with an op, lurking up in the wall. You do not see this every day, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he does love an outlaw. But I guess his expectation is that, okay, they've got this double duelist, there's going to be players looking for the fight. He was correct. He just wasn't in the right place. Now just sat back. Going to try and claim some additional space. He managed to walk his way. This is the classic. He's walked all the way up. That operator's still watching, though. And that's taken out Kiko. He's managed to see a man on the other side, but DRX are not looking to fight this. Not looking to give that additional little battle over to Nats. In fact, he's going to go walking through, taking so much damage as he does, but his goal is not to fight these players, it's to get into the backlines. But look how prepared DRX are for this. They now have players watching from either side.
Orbital strike going to completely deny the plan. Trek's taken down as well. He'll go down with the ship, with his wingman, and the op on flashback catches Nats. All that posturing, and it leaves them with nothing. And for Patatek, yeah, he is way out of position. Trying to play a super late lurk, but when the whole team crumbles like that, all you can do is save.
Yeah, he needs to as well. Like, you start looking at the finances of Liquid holding onto this gun could make a pretty significant difference. But that's a solid round from DRX. I think bringing the flashback operator in, like him just having that element of maneuverability able to put himself into positions to find those openers, escape, and find the opener again. But then also just the A-site hold was so patient. They didn't give anything to Nats. Like, he's busy trying to hunt down players, find this team some value. And for the whole round, he's basically just a non-factor, even though he had so much space.
One round between them. I felt like Liquid were at least going to push up to that double-digit mark, and from there, the world's their oyster. Just a few rounds ago when DRX had those 3 rifles and 2 pistols to play with, 3 players digging deep in terms of their economy to make that happen, and look at the reward they found. One round between them. Orbital strike online, and you know what? It's going to be used, sent in onto Bane, but it's only a trade, and they've lost Camo, the man who would have taken that orb and been 1 away from the showstopper. Instead, he's still 1 away, but it's going to have to be saved for the next round. And the credits where they're at, that's not ideal.
It's a successful ult combo. At least they don't go a man down, but it's a heavy investment. We now sit there looking at a patient DRX. You've got the operator locking down the other side, and Hyunmin again is going to go looking for information, but he's managed to take quite a bit of control. They've stuck themselves in towards Hookah, but have left themselves stuck in the mud. Even still, they hold the line! An absolute shutdown of the Liquid push. They might get caught by the flashes, but it means absolutely nothing.
I actually don't know who broke the Gecko flash that came through. I think it might have been Fring. But that was so important.
30 seconds
Those players were going to be dead to rights if that connected up close in outside of Hookah. And at that point, the round falls. It crumbles. And DRX see Liquid push up to 10, but instead, a huge punish. And again, it's going to be 1 player on that attack side left to save this weapon. But it's worrying.
10 seconds left.
This is where you want perhaps a pause to come through. At 9-6, DRX did it, and they managed to course correct immediately. Now they're neck and neck again for Team Liquid. A team that comes in as, I think in most people's minds, certainly, look, EMEA #1, Pacific #4. They are the favorites. They are the ones with the pressure on their shoulders. And for DRX, heating up like this so early on, already having a map to the good, and now on the map where Liquid think, well, we're comfortable. We can take the fight to them. It's not the case. Well, not convincingly.
It's giving the context of how DRX even qualified it. It was the match of Talon facing off against RFU. Talon with 2-0 in the lead. They close out one of the last 3 maps, and DRX aren't even here. Well, we're talking about Talon playing in this game, or actually, Talon would have gone in as a number 2 seed and pushed someone else down, so it would have been a completely different story. DRX make a last-minute roster change as well, bringing Bane back in. And wow, what a change that seems to have been. Flashback, able to go over to the duelist, and Bane, that's the second round in a row we've seen him just spam through, and this time, well, there's no orbital strike to try and balance that one out.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, he's the one with the ultimate, and that confirms no one's here anymore. The A site's the right place to be. Hyunmin starts to rotate around. He's now going to be here to help out with this push if it does come down here, and the big problem, the op in that corner. Trex is stuck. He has to face him. He has to cross him. And you don't cross Flashback without paying the price. But Bane, in a 5v3, walks down B long. That's left the B site wide open.
Yeah, the thing is, Nats doesn't know that. It doesn't know how much of a commitment there was, so they still have to be patient, but eventually will get themselves in onto the site. Flashback, having that dimensional drift available, will be able to get themselves into post, but the plant not given over to Camo means he doesn't have that ultimate online yet. They're trying to put the pressure on. He needs a kill, and he'll find it.
There we go.
Now that's the showstopper. Immediately puts into play, but he's trying to find a target, and he'll get it. Hyunmin down, giving them the advantage once again, and Camo's taking over. Just the one standing, but that one is Flashback. He has been a man to deal with, and a rifle picked up with the remaining 2. So passive, so patient. He's expecting that they're towards long, but both players are going to be swinging from the same position, and only the first is needed. Camo saving the day, and Liquid, well, they don't let the lead slip. They will take it back with 10.
Such an important round for Camo, especially, Tom, it looked like a mistake. Not seeing that orb go to him, especially when you're in a disadvantage. I was very surprised with the fact that he finds that opening onto Fring, that he can catch Hyunmin, and then lands it onto Mako. That single-handedly saved the round and perhaps Team Liquid's life on that upper bracket run. One round, in between them, but it's Liquid still in the lead. It's Thrash online for Trex, making a side exec much easier. And Flashback wants to get ahead of that. He knows if you sit back and let Liquid make the push, especially with Thrash, they've got a good chance. So he wants to push into them.
Don't know if Flashback goes any further than this.
Gate crash fading.
Yeah, would open him up to a couple of angles, but he does have support.
Gate crash gone.
No easy escape, but with the angles held, oh, there you go. The second one will be put into play. They want to try and hold on to this. The fact is, though, Liquid really have ground to a halt. They're expecting there to be some level of aggression. And what they're correct, they just haven't found it yet.
It's going to be Belong, I think. While the Tiger sent through on A, you can see Camo posturing, ready to push on up. In goes Thrash. A lot of pressure on A, but Spike's still in spawn. From DRX's perspective, this looks like a hit, but I think the rotate to B is far more likely. They'll pick up that Spike and rush on in. Hyun Min finds one, but Panatek is good for the trade, and he's just a distraction right now. He is drawing their eyes, but DRX haven't full rotated. They've left Mako on this side of the map. Bane's been holding on to control of Belong. They're suspicious of this play, and rightfully so. Bane will find his reward. Mako needs to be patient, play this one with his teammate, and Bane is the one to find the pick. They can swing together on Kiko. Spike down, 12 seconds as the rest of DRX arrive. They will not fall for Liquid's bait. It's DRX, neck and neck again.
Yeah, they're reading this game incredibly well. The goal from Liquid has been to try and have that push and pull, sell the fake in, throw the Thrash in, force them back, and that's exactly what they did. But then Nats falls on one side, and because of that, they don't gamble the rotation, they don't pull that second player over. I feel like Bane, well, it's in the name. He's been the bane of their lives. He's causing them so many issues. Just sat back in this corner, over towards the garden, time and time again. And while at 10-10, Liquid will take a pause. And I want to give context as well of what the loser has to deal with. The previous champion's winner. That's what happens if you lose. If you take a defeat, you go up against Khan and his merry men of EDG. And no matter how confident you are in Liquid, the #1 seed, they've looked great regionally. Had their issues on the international stage, but of course some of the time that was because of players not being able to get there. Definitely a tough time for them. But I don't think you can be completely confident in either team falling into that lower bracket when they're up against EDG.
No, you certainly shouldn't be. It'd be a different story if they'd found their way down there and needed this massive comeback, return to form, because they looked weak today. That's not the case. They were not pulling blows. They were landing a lot of solid rounds, and I think, you see it in how long the series lasted.
Yeah.
Or even just one of the maps over on Abyss. For Team Liquid, it's 10 on the board, but it's not likely to be 11. The economy is very weak. 2 rifles, a Bucky, a Stinger, and a pistol. For DRX, they have everything to work with. This should be the lead to the defensive side, but stranger things have certainly happened, even just here today.
Oh, it's early space taken. Nice shot from Bane again. As said, they have struggled to deal with him on this site. Combination of utility trying to create pressure, and pressure is being created. Flashback missing a shot. Flash immediately around the corner. He's so blind and will fall because of it. Spike down once again. With these weak purchases, Liquid get a chance.
Liquid have got the op as well. They've done the work. The groundwork with the spike down. Might not be an advantage just yet, but it's a lot closer to it than they were just moments ago. The defuse already starts. Blind catches everybody. Liquid spamming though, and the player's up top! The defuse from Mako! He stands in the open. They spray too low, and that will give DRX 11. That was a shaky start, but DRX have control.
Yeah, it's once again. Bane gets the opener. And then Bane is the one that basically just defends his teammate while the spams are coming through, clearing out the remainder. What a fantastic individual display from a man that coming into this tournament we didn't even expect to be in the roster. Like, I didn't know he was in the roster until today.
Well, I think they're going to be pretty happy that they brought him back. 11-10 rifles for Team Liquid. Ult on Patatek. That's the only one for now, but this could be a crazy round for DRX. Hyunmin, Fring, and Bane all one away. Bane, thanks to his 4K in the previous, a single pick, a single orb. The favor of this round swaps completely from a close one, a hard one to call. The heavily favored one for that defensive side, who've now been chaining rounds. They've been looking good. But we're used to the game of tennis, the scoreline of deuce, the back and forth. Someone's got to crack the code eventually.
Again, the saturation's going to slow them on their take. Freeing in the corner will be dealt with immediately. Hyunmin needs to go big and doesn't. Immediately taken down, and they've even managed to remove Bane. The problem is, Marco's still standing. Nats with the pit, and the spike wasn't necessarily committed to this side of the map. In fact, it's incredibly far away. It'll have to be a little bit perplexing to the other side. In fact, they are now going to take it into the B side. The Viper's pit ended up just being a ruse, but that feels much more like a mid-round call. You've dealt with Bane. Now you got a post plant.
But the damage here, well, the AWP has been picked back up, but it makes it a lot closer than it might seem. Patatek and Camo have been able to tuck away, though. They've been able to claim their spots to fight from. But Liquid need to be so careful not to overpeak. DRX already finding the opening.
Again.
They baited Mako into the open with the tap. Another tap coming through. The scars of the previous round where the defuse was stuck. Still showing here, he needs to pick! Mako! Stop the defuse for the Red Bull clutch! 12 for DRX! How have they gotten away with that?
The maestro of Marco has manipulated them once again. The last round he sticks it from the very beginning. This time taps it and then just almost plays the bait as teammate goes down, and they assume, in most cases, not for the wrong of them, that there's no way he'd stick it now. But this man has made the right call every single time. Leader of the pack and back on the international stage.
The goal it took to stick that now leaves Liquid 2 behind. 1 away from Showstopper, sure, that could help. The flashback's got a victim in mind. It's the Showstopper himself, stuck in the corner, and Op watching his crossback. He's stunned too. The flash goes in, they know there's 2 players here. Blood in the water. The DRX are hunting it down. Hyunmin catches Camo. That was one of the main things that Team Liquid could rely on. The Showstopper, if found, could change the course of this round. At least give them a leg up, and instead, they are falling.
Down B.
1 by 1 till it's a 5v3, a 5v2. DRX on the cusp of taking this series. A series everybody would have favored to Team Liquid at 2-0, the likely result. And look at them now.
30 seconds
They're
left.
called the masters of the group stage for a reason. The 5th, 6th spot has always had their name on it, and that means they need to make it out of the groups, but they're looking to do it in style. Kiko is all that stands in their way, and of course it's flashback to deal the final blow. A late change for this roster, and a change that seems to have brought them right back to the tip top of the Tier 1.